Well, one of the things we've all been missing is the opportunity as a church to physically gather together, both in smaller and larger settings. And as lockdown measures begin to ease, the inevitable question that many of you are asking is, when are we going to be able to gather as a church? At what size gatherings and in what context? And what form will those gatherings take? And of course, what will be allowed and what won't be allowed? Well, I thought it would be helpful to let you know some of the guiding principles and practices that are going to shape how we move forward as a church in the coming months. The first thing to appreciate is, while we have been through, hopefully been through the worst, the virus is still within our communities and therefore continues to warrant ongoing care and caution when it comes to gatherings of any size. Your physical and emotional and spiritual well-being is and will remain my uttermost concern, both now and in the future. So to that end, any decisions we take about our gatherings will be made on the basis of love, care, protection, and ensuring the well-being of both yourselves and your families. And that means the elders and directors of TVCC will ensure several things. Firstly, that we keep ourselves informed regarding current government policy and advice. Secondly, that we'll take into consideration not only the national infection rates, but also the local Teesside picture. Thirdly, we will seek additional advice, expert advice where needed, and always ensure adequate and robust risk assessments are always being made so you can be kept safe. And most importantly of all, of course, we will do it all in an attitude of faith, trusting God and prayerfulness, and seeking the wisdom of God for every step we take forward. Now, please understand this may at times mean that we exercise more caution and move at a slower pace and are more safety conscious than even restrictive than current government rules allow. Our government has a tricky job of balancing people's health with economic and political pressures, but that means what the government allows is not always the same as best practice. They've got a tricky job. Please do pray for them. We aren't under the same economic or political pressures, so we can ensure we make decisions on the basis of the best and safest practice. We have a diverse church family and many people that fall into the at-risk category. We have a large congregation, 600, which meets in an auditorium with a low ceiling with little natural ventilation. So it will inevitably be some considerable time before we can all meet back together normally on a Sunday mornings. Those smaller gatherings, which ensure adequate social distancing and robust safety measures, may be possible in the coming months. We are not opening the building at all for anyone in July. The only exception to this is the work we do for 313. The work can no longer be done at home, so we have to return to the building to fulfil our current contracts with local authorities and businesses. As we move forward as a church over the coming months, we will, as a leadership, be exploring creative and safe ways of gathering together in smaller settings within the context of government guidelines. And as we look at those possibilities, we will likely look to prioritise those who've been most severely and negatively impacted by the lockdown. We will actively review the situation and adapt what we're doing or not doing on a month-by-month basis and communicate back with you accordingly how we're intending to move forward. God spoke to us recently in the halftime team talk to ensure we keep up our team play and maintain our team shape and discipline. In the light of that, can I encourage you to keep connecting with the online expressions of our corporate church life together, which will be continuing for the foreseeable future. Connect in with our online Sunday services and with the church social on Zoom afterwards. Keep connected with your community group. And don't forget, dig down deeper, children's work, family worship, Alpha, Belong, our Connect services, our Wednesday prayer meetings, and many more things besides. And as lockdown is eased, take the opportunity to visit each other in your gardens or in your homes from the 4th of July. But remember, it's one household to one household. Please comply with government guidelines. We honour and respect God when we honour and respect the government and their directives. Please read Romans 13 if you're unsure if that's an important expression of your faith. And good practice, of course, always saves lives and cares for the wider community. Now, while we might be through the first half of this challenging season, we still need to play a second half. God has been with us to date and he'll be with us as we move forward. He has a game plan, a glorious purpose that he's working in the midst of all of this. And we've seen some amazing doors open, doors of opportunity for the gospel. Prodigals have returned to God, and many unsaved people have had the seeds of the kingdom sown into their hearts. Whatever the second half brings, God has promised us we will come out stronger and the kingdom will be extended. Double depth and double breadth still remains top of God's agenda for us as a church and for us as a people. So let's continue to trust the God of Ephesians 3:20, the one who's able to do immeasurably more than all we can ask or imagine, according to his power at work within us. And let's carry into the second half the verse God gave us in his halftime team talk to us, which was 2 Corinthians 1:20, which encourages us to remember that no matter how many promises God has made, they are yes in Christ. God bless you all.